Reality is copying fiction, and the coincidences are getting too weird to ignore. In the 18th century, Jonathan Swift wrote about two moons orbiting Mars in Gulliver's Travels. He described their size and speed with remarkable accuracy, 150 years before astronomers actually discovered them. In the 19th century, Edgar Allan Poe wrote a story about a shipwreck where the starving crew killed and ate a cabin boy named Richard Parker. Decades later, a real-life shipwreck occurred, and the crew killed and ate a real cabin boy, also named Richard Parker. These aren't just lucky guesses. Throughout history, literature has been filled with these impossible coincidences, where authors accidentally write the future. It's a strange and unsettling reminder that the line between fiction and reality is much thinner than we think.
There's a book so valuable, it's worth more than a private jet. In 1994, Bill Gates paid $30.8 million for a single book, making it the most expensive ever sold. But it's not a first edition of Shakespeare or the Gutenberg Bible. It's a 72-page notebook filled with the scientific observations of Leonardo da Vinci, known as the Codex Leicester. What makes it even more unique is that da Vinci wrote the entire thing in his famous mirror script, meaning you need a mirror to read it. The notebook contains his thoughts on everything from fossils to the movement of water. Gates had the entire manuscript digitally scanned and released it to the public, so now anyone can explore the mind of a genius. It's a book that's literally priceless.
You probably have a disease you don't even know about, and it's hiding on your bookshelf. It's called tsundoku, a Japanese term for the habit of buying books and letting them pile up without ever reading them. If you have a stack of unread books by your bed, you've got it. And you're not alone. In our culture of consumption, many of us have become book collectors instead of book readers. We buy books for the identity they give us, for the person we want to be, rather than for the stories they contain. The act of buying the book becomes more satisfying than the act of reading it. So take a hard look at your shelves. Are they a library of adventures you had, or a museum of good intentions? The answer might be a little uncomfortable.
Why can't you finish a book? The answer is not your attention span. The average person starts 12 books for every one they actually finish. And while it's easy to blame TikTok or our busy lives, the real reasons are much deeper. Psychologists say that for many, not finishing a book is a way to avoid the sadness of a story ending. For others, the paradox of choice kicks in. With millions of books to choose from, we're constantly worried we're reading the wrong one. We also feel immense pressure to be well-read, so we dabble in many books to appear knowledgeable without ever committing to one. So if your house is a graveyard of half-read novels, you're not a bad reader. You're just a perfectly normal, psychologically complex human.
Some books have changed the world, but they did it by accident. In 1852, Harriet Beecher Stowe wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin, a fictional story meant to highlight the cruelty of slavery. She never intended to start a war, but the book became a massive bestseller, and its emotional impact was so powerful that it's often cited as one of the primary causes of the American Civil War. 50 years later, Upton Sinclair wrote The Jungle to expose the horrible working conditions in the meatpacking industry, but readers were more horrified by the unsanitary descriptions of their food. The public outcry was so intense that it led directly to the creation of the Food and Drug Administration. These authors weren't trying to be activists, they were just telling stories, but their words took on a life of their own and accidentally changed history forever.